Hello and welcome back to the Nexus Gaming Series Storm Division. I am the Crushinator, and tonight I will be your host for this playoff matchup between WildHeart and ReGen. Hope you're all having a good time. Hope you've been watching some excellent HOTS this weekend and watching some excellent HOTS this past couple weeks leading into this playoff matchup. We've got quite the match in store for you today. Right now, WildHeart currently undefeated in the number 1 seed going up against ReGen, but the last time these two teams met, it went all the way to game number 5, so I'm expecting to see an excellent matchup this evening. Looks like we've got all of our players now in the lobby, so I'll run through these map bans real fast, let them know the caster's ready. WildHeart banned away Sky Temple and Garden of Terror. And ReGen banning out Alterac Pass and Braxis Holdout. We're going to be going to Tomb of the Spider Queen here for game number 1. Captain Wedge coming on through with the Prime. As a reminder, if you like what I'm doing, all of these subs and bits that go into tonight's broadcast go to support the casters, whoever they may be. Tonight it's me, but it could be Tetcher, could be Jinxie Cat, could be Taco, could be Arrow. All sorts of fine folks here in the NGS have been casting Storm Division, and I'm sure they would all appreciate your support. The casters not only appreciate your support, but the players do as well. If you head on over to Matcherino, !Matcherino in the chat, you can support these players. If you've not already gone there and used the code STORMS2 to add free money to the pool, it's still open. There's still time. You can go there and do it. Check it out today. Make sure you go and support our league. Donkey Teeth coming in with the 5 gifted. Thank you very much. Thank you for supporting the league. Thank you for bringing in the noise. Hope everyone is having a fantastic day out there today. Just making sure everyone's all set and good to go, and then we'll get into our first draft here on Tomb of the Spider Queen. While I've got a second, I'll let you know a little bit about the playoff picture. Right now, we're in sort of the winners starting bracket. We've got the 1 seed versus the 4. The loser of this game will not be out of the playoffs yet. The winner goes on to the winner's semifinals to face Heavy Impact. The loser will go to the start of the loser's bracket to face Anti-Clown Association. So those are the stakes in this 1 seed versus 4 seed matchup. But let's get started here. Tomb of the Spider Queen is going to be our first map of the day, and WildHeart has first pick. Tomb of the Spider Queen, very heavy on rotations, very heavy on wave clear. So it's going to be interesting to see what the picks are going to be. I'm starting to see a lot more teams. It's not only locking in the double support or a second pseudo support, stuff like Medivh, stuff like Zarya, but going with non-traditional tanks that just have insane wave clear, your Maevs, your Deathwings, things that you can get away with just for the fact of having that extra macro pressure and that extra just raw damage output in these team fights. Medivh is going to be the first ban here, so WildHeart, not interested in playing it themselves, are going to go ahead and remove that as an option. Let's see. Sonya, banned away by ReGen. Pretty regular, pretty normal. Sonya can, teams are even starting to run Sonya in kind of an almost a tank position. Her W build and her just damage numbers in general are so high that getting banned a lot these days. I was going to say Sonya's not the safest solo laner on Tomb of the Spider Queen. The gank potential on such a small map is pretty high. But, you know, you don't even have to run Sonya in that position, and you could just run it a little bit safer. That definitely makes up for the power level. D.Va going to be the next ban here from WildHeart. D.Va, very safe solo laner down there in the bottom lane. Very good disruption, and the bomb covers quite a lot of area on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Can envelop an entire objective point. Very strong at moving in and disrupting turn-ins. And we will see Uther banned out, as is tradition. But that's going to allow Zergling to very happily lock in a Hogger here. First pick for WildHeart. Hogger with that unstoppable right from level 1. Pretty safe versus ganks. If it is going to be the Hortipole, that's yet another escape for Hogger, so pretty good piggy bank when it comes to those gems, and very strong in the hallways of Tomb of the Spider Queen, just bouncing off and getting a ton of damage and a ton of rage generation. ReGen gonna lock in the Lucio Cassia here by Cascon and Marlowe. Cassia, one of the best all-round ranged assassins right now, especially in the hands of elite players like these. And Lucio's stock since that High Five update has been insane. Just having the unstoppable on connection on Lucio as well as the target is very, very good. But you know what turns that off is a Brightwing. Weary Day going to go ahead and lock that up. And Unaverted going to get themselves a Chromie here. At least in my leagues, Chromie is heavily banned. So it's interesting that we get to see a Chromie matchup. Chromie can deal damage, can scout, can control vision from such a safe space that there's almost never a time where you wouldn't like to have a Chromie on your side. ReGen, thinking about what to ban away, going to remove Diablo from the equation. Diablo pretty strong into Lucio, pretty strong into Cassia. What you want to be doing against Cassia is getting Cassia rooted or stunned, peeling away that armor so that she's taken all that extra damage, and Diablo is definitely a tank who can pull that off. WildHeart looking at the Lucio Cassia right now. I mean, Cassia likes to have blinds, but it's not exactly required for Cassia to bring a lot of damage. Nonetheless, it's going to be a Mei ban. Mei is kind of like the new tank who can carry Cassia in the blind department with those snowballs, and also just extremely resilient there in the front line, allowing Cassia to move up pretty safely and have those zoning tools that Mei can provide. So we'll have to see what ReGen does without that tank option. A lot of tanks kind of off the board right now. Uther's gone, Diablo's gone, Mei is gone. It's going to be an Anubarak chosen by Cattle here, and Porky's going to lock in the Yorick. Leoric, very, very common pick here on Tomb of the Spider Queen for the safety of that Wraith Walk, the unstoppable that it grants. Anubarak's an interesting choice. There's a lot of situations where Anubarak can burrow from out of vision here on Tomb of the Spider Queen, which is very, very good at reducing the amount of time the enemy has to react to something like that. Oh, interesting. We've got Buds on the Sylvanas here. And Pitkin can be playing ETC. Best 3 or 5. This is a best of 5. Best of 5. Posty in the last pick position. Everything's pretty much locked up in terms of necessary roles, so it is a true flex situation. Gonna be the Li Ming coming on through for Hosty. Li Ming gonna be able to key off of those double stuns coming in from Anubarak. Some good slows, some good boops coming in from Lucio. Just got to make sure that, you know, you're not ruining Li Ming combos, you're pushing people into them. Which, of course, I'm sure these players are more than happy to not mess each other up in this here matchup. ETC is an interesting one. I don't get to see an awful lot of high-level ETC these days, so I'm interested in how Pitkid's going to approach this into an Anubarak. Top players are working hard today. There's a lot of heroes right now, especially this weekend. Just a lot of heroes on the docket. So it's exciting to see these players coming on through to Storm Division and, you know, showing off their skill here. We're loading into our first match here. Get it going in just a moment. Last thoughts on these comps. Got some good skill shot heroes over here for ReGen. They can get back to this Chromie and lock down Unaverted. We'll have to see what the clash is like. Here we go. Game number 1 is underway. On the left in the blue, it's WildHeart. Unaverted going to be playing the Chromie. Zergling on the Hogger. Buds playing Sylvanas. Weary Day on the Brightwing. And it is Pitkid on the ETC. On the right in the red, it is ReGen with Porky on the Leoric, Cascon playing Lucio, Marlowe on the Cassia, Cattle playing Anubarak, and Hosty on the Li Ming.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Game number 1 is underway. Anubarak with that Regeneration Master Quest, going to be looking for all the globes that they can handle. Cassia's trying to stack up those Qs, those Thunder Furies. Should be fairly easy to do on these 4 versus 4 rotations, I'm expecting. Quick time trap there onto Hosty. He's able to teleport away, but Zergling putting a little bit of that early damage out onto Li Ming. Augur going with that easy throw dynamite quest on 1, so going with more of the zoning potential, as we see Zergling gonna have to be saved here by Weary Day, just in case, before the solo laners get to the off lanes. We see Cattle could be in trouble here, trying to get away. Bud's with the long haunting wave, though, as Cattle turned it around. And some good scuffle here in the early going. ETC did go for the Globe quest, good for that Prog Rock. He's going to be trying to put through some extra healing once that quest comes online. Big Slide comes out, Polymorph onto Cattle, still has the Burrow Charge. Bud's going straight in under tower range. Cascon with the pushback could be in trouble here for Buds. Sylvanas is going to get on out of there. Porky was coming up, thinking about a rotation there. Augur is going to burst on out of there, and these players are just rotating like crazy right now. All over the map, but making sure to get all the soak that they can, picking up as many gems as they're able. Nice interrupt there onto Pitkid, going to force ETC to rethink that rotation. Great job by Cattle to see that coming. You see Chromie using those time traps to control the vision in those bushes. That's a big part of the power of Chromie here on Tomb of the Spider Queen specifically. If I take a look, it is time troubles on level 2 there for Chromie. So not going with Anderhall Anomaly, just going with the one time trap here, but instead wants to deny armor. Combo comes out onto Unaverted, Cascon putting some damage out. Not quite enough, but pretty close, as Unaverted manages to get away. WildHeart did have the heavy rotation down to the bottom lane and is going to pick up a camp. We saw Chromie and Brightwing soaking mid and top while that happened. Right here we see Cascon just trying to interrupt rotations as much as possible here to slow down WildHeart. Marlow has to stay down here to try to clean this up. Zergling and Pitkid are in. Marlow gets slid on though. Cassia's armor a little bit low. Unaverted trying to come on down here. He is harassed by Cascon. We've got a full-on party down here in the bottom lane. Hosty on Li Ming is turning in topside, dropping off those 11. And the push continues down here in the bottom lane. Zergling may have to go back. Gonna hang out near Brightwing for now, try to get that regen. Cattle's gonna full engage here onto Buds. See if Sylvanas has the Haunting Wave. Yes, gonna get on out of there. Augur a little bit low, Weary Day a little bit low. Both teams just waiting for an opportunity to move on in. But with Chromie in the top lane and Li Ming, there's not a lot of damage that can be lobbed into these back lines. So the team's just continuing to scuffle here. Another turn in for ReGen, now halfway to their first turn in. Porky not able to drop off 15 in the bottom lane. We see Zergling going to work on this camp solo here. It should allow ReGen a little bit of extra pressure on the map here, as they are going to be 4v3, 4v2 now in lanes as Brightwing has gone back to speed this along. Pitkid, oh, gets interrupted there last second by Hosty. Bud's waiting to interrupt Porky on the bottom side. And now we see ReGen going to work on a camp of their own here on the right. 5 gems off a turn-in is WildHeart. So just a couple more waves and they'll have enough. ReGen is currently working on their back camp. So we'll see if WildHeart can sniff that out and try to find themselves a turn-in. Buds and Weary Day putting on a little siege with these black arrows. Porky just trying to clear the lane, get these towers firing onto heroes, but that's one tower down. Right now we see Zergling in a little bit of a tough spot, being chased down by the rest of ReGen. Big stun comes out, and that's 13 gems on the ground, as Hogger falls first blood. Pitkid is going to pick those up, so no gems lost, but without Hogger, this clear in the mid could be a little bit tough, and ReGen may have their first turn in here. Oh, Pitkid is way out there. Still has the slide, but going in with the burrow charge is Cattle, only landing the one of the two. Pitkid in all sorts of trouble here is going to be saved by Weary Day. His ETC cooldowns are so long, still doesn't have the slide available. Somehow managing to get away, but Porky with the turn-in the bottom lane means ReGen is going to get their first turn-in and some good pressure still here in the mid lane. Pitkid looking for a slide, not quite connecting. Porky poking his head in. Just making sure everything's cool. Li Ming down here. Uh-oh, trying to cut off Zergling. Hogwild gets back to the mid, so Zergling gonna have to hit the well and get to the bottom lane safely. Good denial there by ReGen. Objective about halfway down here in the mid, gonna be abandoned, and we'll see ReGen head on up to the top lane. Unaverted with that level 8, has the slowing sands online as Pitkid once again in a little bit of trouble here. Gets the knockback, so it's gonna be safe for now. Unaverted a little bit low on mana, trying to clear away this objective. It looks like it will ultimately go down here. Augur clearing away the bottom lane. Now ReGen, about a half-level lead with the damage to these walls. We'll see if they can get anything done with this XP advantage. They don't have quite enough for their next turn-in. Need about another 15. So if they're going to take a 10 fight, they're going to have to do it without the possibility of a turn-in. Porky going to come on down and try to deny Zergling from this cap. Oh, here comes the rest of ReGen. Brightwing coming on down. Weary Day trying to get away. Oh no, the Entomb whiffs, but it doesn't matter. The Li Ming Orb connects onto Brightwing, and there goes Hogger as well. There's a web wrap here onto ETC. Combo coming on out, but not quite enough to get through the armor of Pitkid. That's 2 kills. That could be another turn-in. About 5 gems away here is ReGen. Ascon, Marlowe getting turned in. Cattle trying to drop off 17. And with those 2 kills, that allows ReGen to establish themselves on the map, push WildHeart back, not allow them vision of these turn-ins. And there it is, the red web weavers are on the way. Gank crew coming on down, can't quite find Pitkid, but they're trying to take out this bottom fort. It is the least susceptible lane to end in here on Tomb of the Spider Queen, but if you can get this bottom fort down, it puts the solo laner in a lot of trouble. Even with that fort up, getting a gank in that lane is fairly simple. You see Buds, oh, is going to get caught by the Entomb, but has the Haunting Wave to get away. What a cast there by Porky. With the full trap on that wall. Mid lane pressure going to come on through from ReGen. Mid wall is down. Objective still fairly healthy. Unaverted trying to poke away here. Bud's clearing up the top lane. Hogger already cleared up the bottom, so he's going to try to come on through to help out. It is Hortipult for Zergling, so can be in this position a little more safely. Looks like the mid clear going to be okay. Weary Day with the teleport just to make sure that Zergling is going to be all right. So all forts survive for now. See Porky going to soak out the bottom lane, try to find that 13. As WildHeart now a little bit behind due to these hero kills and experience. Trying to find their way back onto this map, but they do have potential for a double turn-in if they can find a fight that goes their way. So back camp is taken. Cattle going to get away from those slowing sands. Yeah, this is... WildHeart still has all of the objective power that they've had all game. So it just becomes more and more dangerous to hold on to these gems long term. Because if they lose a fight, they lose all of the progress they've made all game. See Pitkid trying to turn in those 37, but with the long connection, Porky's going to go ahead and interrupt that. And now 13s are about to come online for ReGen. Pretty close here for WildHeart as well. So WildHeart just going to go ahead and move back. Stage Dive coming on through to the top lane, trying to turn in there, but Hosty sees it. Burrow Charge does not land onto Unaverted. Pitkid is going to slide away. Cheeky maneuver. Didn't quite work out there for Pitkid. And now we've got the big push here in the mid. ReGen once again going to try to push in and take out this structure. Pitkid going to slide on through, finds the connection, but there's Lucio with that high five. Zergling going to boost on out of there as Cattle going right back in, finds the double stun onto Pitkid. Look at the silence onto Porky. Gets picked off by that Chromie Sandblast. Porky, Hosty on the edge, blows up Unaverted. The gems are recovered on both sides, so 1-for-1 Chromie for Leoric. ReGen getting the better of that trade here. Pitkid got to be careful. Cattle thinking about going in once again. Gascon healing up that back line. Now Buds is web wrapped up in the top lane by Cattle. Pitkid coming on through to try to save it, but that's Sylvanas getting absolutely annihilated. Pitkid's slide was denied by Gascon. That's some gems on the ground, and now WildHeart is starting to feel the hurt of these team fights not going their way. Now about 25 gems away from a double turn-in. About 10 gems away from their third turn-in is ReGen. Now WildHeart just wants to make sure they don't get further behind on this soak game, looking for their opportunity to get back into this. Very close here is ReGen to another turn-in. I'm going to try to keep controlling both points, make sure that as many gems stay in the hands of WildHeart as possible. There's the time trap onto a Nubarak. Cattle going to get a little bit of sand thrown in their general direction. As Hosty staying off vision for now, waiting for an opportunity to jump on that backline once again. Now WildHeart, they want to find something before level 16 hits. Weary Day trying to chase down Marlowe. There's the dismount, but Cattle going to be rebuffed and going to be stuck in that slowing sands for the meantime. Has to use the burrow charge to escape. Is this enough room for Pitkid to turn in? Porky is in position. Gonna have to get the interrupt. There's the slide. Porky could be in trouble. But all over the backline here is Ultralisk actually coming on back and getting the kill onto the Leoric. And this is the opening that WildHeart was looking for. They're going to try to zone out the mid and allow Pitkid to drop off some of those gems. And there it is, the first turn-in of this game for WildHeart. They go down level 16 talents, but they're going to have some pressure. Porky scouts the bottom camp. ReGen not going to be here in time, but let's see if they can get a cutoff here. Unaverted wisely turns back as Cattle was starting to peel back for a possible engage. Webweavers are coming on through. Pitkid trying to deny the rotations, but the unstoppable Leoric does get through. Big Bomb's going to hit onto Unaverted as the push continues down here in the bottom lane. Hogger in the top lane, trying to get a little bit of value in that boss lane. Cattle goes on in there. Nice time out by Unaverted. Chromie going to be okay for now. Keep him poking in. Nubarak now done with that level 1 regeneration master. Uh-oh, Pitkid in some trouble here. Is going to be web-wrapped before the teleport can come on in. Pitkid gets the knockback, but is interrupted in the slide. 29 gems. Buds wants to pick those up if possible. Going to be guarded. ETC goes down here. And WildHeart can't get onto the gems. They need 10 more for their next turn-in. As we see top lane, I think this wave might get it before the next wave comes on through. There it goes, top fort is down. So WildHeart picking up the structure. But red Webweavers immediately coming on through to deny the progress. And this is definitely going to be forts. Bud's moving on up here. Cassia coming on down. Buds has the Haunting Wave. Nubarak's looking on the outside here. Buds is in some trouble. Cattle coming on through with the interrupt. Has the Unstoppable, though. And Weary Day coming on through with the save. And that's what I'm talking about for bottom lane here on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Cattle was not worried about that fort at all. At all. Just came on through. And that's why the safety of your solo laner is so important on this map. Bottom lane going to be taken out here. Hogger using the Hog Wild to just continually bounce away here. Uh-oh, ETC in some trouble. Going to get in tune. Pitkid gets the slide on through. Silence Arrow comes on out from Buds, who warps on through. Now Hogger is in the mix. That's Leoric going down. Zergling with a huge catch. Web Wrapped is ETC, but Zergling still on the chase here. Can Hosty get away? The stun combo comes out, and that's actually going to be Hogger going down. Pitkid manages to pick up most of those gems. What a save coming on through. What a turn from ReGen. Because it looked like Hogger was about to wrap up all those kills. Oh, look at the combos coming on out. Pitkid still has the slide. Weary Day seems to have that cooldown up all of the time. You see the hyper shift on one. is so, so valuable for Brightwing in these instances. Both teams working and picking up their bruisers here to push in the mid. WildHeart does have enough for their next turn in, but Hosty going to get the interrupt. Buds and Pitkid really want to drop those off. Porky's going to interrupt one, but Pitkid going to drop 32 here. Uh-oh, and Tomb comes out. Pitkid's cooldown is not available. Good zoning from Chromie, though. Forces Porky to move back. Trying to get a turn in the top lane, and it looks like WildHeart will be able to do so. And Hogger now back on the battlefield. So we are in pre-20s. Buds is on the chase here. Cattle coming around for a flank. Oh, this could be trouble. ETC in the bottom lane does have the ult. See Sylvanas being broken out. Pops the Unstoppable right away. Are we going to get a stage dive? Silence Arrow comes on through. There it is. Stage dive onto the backline. Going to find the slow. Great Unstoppable, though, by Cascon is going to deny the stun. Can Porky get away here? The damage from Black Arrows is not enough. Hogger bounces off the gate here, and no deaths to be seen. Fantastic saves coming on out from ReGen there. And Tomb comes out, is going to whiff. Slowing Sands on the gate means that ReGen got to be careful. Great time stop there, though. Sporky trying to reduce that damage. Leoric is actually going to go down here. Pitkid does not find the slides. Hosty, almost gets hit by that third Dragon Breath strike. All of a sudden, this is looking like trouble. The boost on out of there from Cascon is enough, but this top fort, or top keep, is absolutely going down here. WildHeart boosts themselves up to level 20. What a push coming on out here from WildHeart. They're thinking about boss. Top objective is down. Boss up and available. Porky is going to be up. ReGen is coming through. Porky's going to res first. Hosty's going to try to poke in from the edge. Going to land a combo onto Pitkid. Time stop is there onto Anubarak. Cattle has to be careful and move back. Marlowe is on the tough side of things here as Pitkid slides on through. Cassia so low. That's Cassia going down. Bud's trying to get away here. That's a double kill onto Sylvanas and Hogger. Silence comes out onto Chromie. There's the save from Weary Day, but now they're both silenced. ETC has fallen. ReGen gets caught in the death mosh, but Cascon somehow still alive. Weary Day trying to use the blink to get out. That's Chromie down. And it's a quad kill. Cattle almost finds Weary Day there. And ReGen trade 1 for 4. And they're going to push through the mid. Could they end this game? They've got over 30 seconds here. No Cassia, but they've got Li Ming damage. They've got 2 catapults here in the mid lane. They've got to take out this keep first. And the new waves are coming on through. Leoric just trying to clear away these minions. The mid fort is down. The waves are starting to come in. Weary Day's trying to stop these catapults from reaching the core. 13 seconds on Hogger and Sylvanas. ETC not far behind. Weary Day just trying to get those catapults taken out, and will do so. Brightwing is away. The core shielding is down. WildHeart is so close to resin. Can they get out here? Here they come. Here's Buds. Here's Zergling. Core down to 50%. There's the web wrap coming on out. ETC is going to stage dive in. 40% on the core. Porky is wailing away. They're starting to get low here. ReGen, there's the no control coming on out. 18% on the core. Leoric is down. Hosty trying to get these shots through. Lucio is down. Li Ming is down. Marlowe is back. 7% core. Cassia trying to come on through, but is polymorphed, and ReGen gets aced. WildHeart with the huge defense. The 4% core, and they're going to march it across the map. What a defense. Leoric, 17 seconds. Gonna try to solo this core. Brightwing, gonna monitor Porky. The rest of the team is on the core. Weary Day just waiting to try to get this polymorph off. The core shielding is gone. There's no way. ReGen comes up for this defense. Porky is up. Gonna be targeted down by this core. That's gonna be it for Porky. And somehow WildHeart pick up the victory. GG. Oh my goodness. So many things had to go right in that core defense for WildHeart. They pull it off. Weary Day stalls the catapults, works the edges, stays alive to keep the defense rolling. Hogger immediately hortipults into the back. ETC stage dives out of the core. Everything had to be perfectly on point. And they get the job done. 4%. ReGen is that close. They played a fantastic game number one. But, wow. I thought ReGen had it the whole way. Congrats to WildHeart coming on through with the core defense. Man, this is gonna be a series. This is gonna be quite a series. Buds on Sylvanas leading the way on hero damage there for WildHeart with 72.5k. Marlowe's Cassia, 57k coming on through for ReGen. 11-11 on kills. It does not get closer than that. Amazing stuff from our teams there. Leave the talents up for a second, and we'll take a little break here before game number 2. Oh my goodness. Whew. All right. WildHeart goes up 1-0 in an absolute nail-biter. We're going to go to a short break, and when we come back, it's game number 2 of WildHeart versus ReGen. Sit tight. Alrighty, welcome back here. We're getting set up for game number 2. Just letting them know the caster's ready. Alright. We're going to be going to Towers of Doom for our second game of the night. Wow, what a game number 1. If you're just joining us, you missed a solid one, but let's go over the maps for you real quick. WildHeart banned away Sky Temple and Garden of Terror. ReGen banned out Alterac Pass and Braxis Holdout. ReGen chose to go to Tomb of the Spider Queen. It was that close. WildHeart picks up the victory there in game number 1, and now WildHeart is going to take us to Towers of Doom here for game number 2. Unbelievable. Just Key missed the core defense. Oh, goodness. How dare. How dare. Alright, we've got our lobby up and running. I forgot to hit the back button. I was too excited. You guys could hear me, though. We're back. I was too amped up, man. I was like, we're back. It did work. It's fine. It's fine. Let's go to the draft. It's fine. I'm a professional. Oh. Alright. Map number 2 here. Towers of Doom. I swear I hit the button, man. What did I press? I bet I pressed start show instead of return from break. I've got a whole thing here. Let me lift it up. You see these lovely buttons? I've got all these buttons. They do separate things. Some of the buttons do very similar things, but have very different outcomes. So the button I pressed doesn't return me from break, but it does turn my mic on, so you got to hear all that fun stuff. But we're back. The levels are good. I'm coming through. Very similar bans to game number 1. ReGen from the first position going to ban Uther, and now WildHeart going to ban Medivh from the second spot. Towers of Doom. Now, one of the most interesting and out there games I've cast in Storm Division came from ReGen on Towers of Doom. And that was triple healer Illidan. I don't know if we're going to see triple healer Illidan, but we may see some funkiness. We may see some very interesting choices. But maybe the meta's moved away from that. Who knows? That was ages ago. That was so long ago. Hogger wasn't even in the game yet when I saw that match. So maybe we don't get to see triple support Illidan. But just keep it in mind. Keep it in mind. It might happen. And be excited when it does happen. Right Wing and Hogger. the last two bands here. Of course, the Global of Brightwing. Weary Day putting on an absolute clinic with those warp-ins. Even warping into Silence and Tombs for the saves was the play. But Sonia's up and available. And Porky says, sounds good. I'll take that. We take these. Sonia, not the fastest double soaker in the world, but with a little bit of communication, a little bit of help from your pals, you can make it work. Make sure someone covers the mid if you go up against like your Malthiels or the Oryx. And you get the power of Sonia. So what can I say? Straight into double healer is WildHeart, going with the Stukov, going with the Lucio. Two very powerful healers taken off the board here. With Brightwing and Uther already banned, that puts ReGen in a little bit of a sticky wicket here. So they're going to have to kind of go off the grid. They're going to have to go with the Deckard. And they're going to pair it up with a Diablo for Cascon and Cattle. So not quite the snappy move around that you're used to with stuff like Brightwing and Lucio, but the ability to set up on a point is very strong with those two heroes. And setting up on a point is pretty important on Towers of Doom. Pretty important indeed. Chromie going to be the ban from WildHeart. So banning out their own pick once again. It's almost like they're on the other side of the draft or something. Maiev going to be banned away by ReGen. Maiev is a tank that... Well, tank. Maiev is often run as a tank in a double healer, because double healer, the main thing it tends to lack is wave clear, and Maiev has a lot more wave clear than most tanks. So I really like that ban coming out from ReGen. It is going to be unaverted on the Cassia, and Pit Kid locking in the Diva here. Is that an offlane Diva? Is that a tank Diva? We will have to see. Bringing some of my caster juice. Gotta replenish. That game one was so hype. Oh. Marlowe locking in that favored Cassia, and it is Abathur time. Hosty bringing out the slug. Not quite triple healer Illidan, but it's close. It's getting there. It's getting there. Abathur on Tracer, Abathur on Sonya. Even Abathur on Diablo is pretty crazy. So what's the last pick going to be? WildHeart, they've got their double healer. Can they lock in more supports? Let's see. Falstad going to be the pick here for Zergling. Going to use that global to try to create some space. That's a tough pick. Looks like they're going to do some swippity swapping. Zergling going to the Diva. Bud's going to the Falstad. Unaverted still on Cassia. Pit Kid's going to be on the Stukov. Weary Day on the Lucio. Awesome. So we're looking at, is this... If Pit Kid is playing the Stukov, does that mean I get to call it a tank Stukov? Because Bud's is Falstad, but Zergling's on the Diva, so I would assume that's an offlane Diva, not an offlane Falstad. I mean, I don't know what to call it besides tank Stukov. Here you go, team. On the left in the blue in game number 2, it's WildHeart. Unaverted is on the Cassia. Pit Kid playing the Stukov. Weary Day is on Lucio. Bud's on Falstad. Zergling playing Diva. On the right in the red, it is ReGen. Hosty on Abathur. Porky playing the Sonya. Cascon on the Deckard. Cattle on the Diablo. Marlowe on the Tracer.
5.
These are some stacked squads here, folks. Lot of comfort picks, lot of very extreme angles. Who's going to come out ahead? Time will tell. Dun dun dun. Clash in the mid here. Falstad looking for auto attacks. Cassia looking for those Thunder Fury. Zergling going to get flipped over, but Diva going to be just fine. Going to be just fine here. Porky getting a little bit body blocked there. Sonya trying to move back. Weary Day pushes Cattle back in. Circling is going to be D-Mech, the big shot. Not enough to take down Cattle. Looks like getting a little bit ahead is WildHeart in that exchange. It is the reactive Ballistosaurs, the tank talent for Stukov. So it looks like we're going to have D.Va in the top, Falstad holding down mid for now. As Circling managing to get that mech up and running once again. Tracer on this map is going to be, like, Buds has got to always be aware. Tracer is a great Falstad hunter, and Tracer with an Abathur hat is an even better Falstad hunter. We see Marlowe coming on through. No roots coming on out from the Scroll of Sealing. And it looks like we're looking at a 1-1-3 from WildHeart. Falstad going to hang out in the mid for the meantime. Going to try to stress the rotations from this Sonya. Porky pushing in, going to have to go and grab the top. Now, Abathur hat can grab some of that top XP. So, that's going to be helpful here for ReGen in matching this lane. This Pitkid going to be pushed into tower range here, going to take some shots, but manages to avoid the scroll. Moving on back there, finds the big slow onto 3. And that's the power of reactive Ballistosaurs. When Stukov's below 50% health and takes damage, just throws out that weighted pustule in an area and resets bio kill switch. That's really, really powerful versus Tracer if Marlowe is in range when that thing goes off. Porky coming on down here to try to ward away WildHeart. Abathur doing a little bit of double duty there in the mid. Right now, Cascon's got it back. Those mana reserves are getting real low. Buds gonna take a little bit of damage. Throwing out the W. Has the barrel roll shield to get away, though. We see the entire front wall taken out down here in the bottom lane. So WildHeart is just bringing the noise here with this tank Stukov comp. Sticking with the 1-1-3. I'm not going to try to make D.Va rotate versus Sonya. They're going to try to stress out Porky. See the first interrupt there in the bottom lane. There's the quick stun onto Pitkid. Cattle trying to get on out of there. Looks like the top lane might be both claimed here by WildHeart. Porky's trying to find an interrupt, but Buds is here. There's the Q on. Porky in some trouble here. D-Mech is Zergling, trying to stay alive. There's the auto attacks coming on out from Pilot D.Va. That's going to be both top altars going over to WildHeart. Weary Day. This might be a triple altar going to WildHeart right now. We see Weary Day's channeling, and that is what it's going to be. So taking advantage of that, you know, that body advantage that you get when you go against an Abathur here. WildHeart with a huge opening lead. Cascon having to move back here. Marlowe is up and available. Big stun there onto unaverted. There's the blind. This could be trouble here for Cascon. Weird Day moving on through. Marlowe gonna go down here. The bio kill switch is in, and now Bud's coming on through. Cascon in all sorts of trouble. Gonna be taken out. Cattle is pushed into the corner. Uh-oh, unaverted a little bit low. Has to get out of this fort range. Being healed up by Abathur. Weird Day's able to get on out of there with that Lucio speed. I did not think Diablo was getting out of there. Good job by Cattle. Now the bottom lane pressure is on. We see Diablo with max souls. And just with an insane amount of pressure, WildHeart claims their first structure in less than 5 minutes. Pressure in the mid. Zergling is demeched once again, as the pressure from Tracer and Sonya is a lot. But the extra health bars of D.Va, a lot as well. WildHeart going to go ahead and steal this camp away. Double altar phase in the top lane. Will we see the same trickery from Falstad and D.Va? 3 members of ReGen are down here in the bottom lane. So Sonya can only deal with one of these altars. D.Va moving up to the top camp as Falstad moving on to the left side camp. Still 3 sappers here looking across the line, but Cattle is making sure that they're attacking Diablo. 1 down. There's the flip. Unaverted gets put into the death zone. Nice swipe coming out from Pit Kid. Arlo gonna move on back. Unaverted still in a little bit of trouble here. Sonya gets the top right channel. Falstad gets the top left channel. So it's gonna be a trade, but it's 5 for 3 in terms of shots. Another set of sappers coming on through the bottom lane as Tracer trying to move on out. Top lane, Porky's gonna get taken out by the rotation of Buds. So Zergling and Buds are gonna push in that top fort. Silent Zone coming on out is going to interrupt Cattle. Diablo getting really low here. Repositions, trying to get into the backline and is going to get healed up by those potions. 1 sapper still alive. Going to ultimately go down to those autos. WildHeart just fully in the driver's seat here. Buds claims this top altar. ReGen going to have to find a new strategy. They're not getting anywhere in this bottom lane. They're going to move up through the mid. They've got to find another angle of approach. They're going to rotate Sonya on down. Porky going to try to get some extra pressure in this bottom lane. So it's a full commit from ReGen down for this bottom fort. Can WildHeart with their 3 members here. Falstad thinking about coming on through. Zergling coming on through as well. To make this a 4v4 with that Abathur hat. Swipe onto Cattle is going to keep Diablo pinned in the corner for a second, but a big scroll of ceiling is going to halt Zergling for now. Silent Zone is out, Unaverted, being harassed on the edges by Marlowe. There's the leap from Porky. Big sleep as well is going to be quickly interrupted. Diva Mech is out, going to push Hosty on back. That Abathur clone, it's a total bloodbath. Tracer is down, Cassia is down, Deckard and Stukov are down. There goes Sonya as well. It's just Cattle left and Abathur here for ReGen. Can Cattle get away? The hits, are not enough. The ReGen from the Flame Stomp is in. Oh, wow. But they gotta be a little careful there. Hosty's Abathur mines were in a pretty good spot. But it's going to be another channel. And this is going to be 6 shots coming on through for WildHeart. Hosty trying to get this top lane cleared up with these locusts. But it's going to require some assistance. Sappers are walking in the bottom lane here for WildHeart. Buds taking the back camp once again. Cattle is in to try to stop these sappers. You see Tracer and Deckard coming on through, but WildHeart coming through to try to push these in. Top fort is taken back by Porky and Abathur. Porky and Hosty, I should say. We're kind of back to square one, now with a talent advantage as WildHeart. Root combo comes on out onto Diablo. Being healed up with those potions, going to be just fine for now. Falstad and Diva in the mid trying to harass Sonya. And harass that mid fort down. Another Sapper Camp coming on through is going to force ReGen to stay here and defend this. This is exactly what WildHeart wants. They want to keep as many bodies in this bottom lane as possible, while Diva and Falstad push in the mid and the top. Porky's looking for a leap here. Unaverted going to get flipped over. Leap comes on through, stuns here. Unaverted is getting hit with the pulse bomb, and that's going to be it for Cassia. Lucio down as well, and now Pitkid in all sorts of trouble. Going to be chased out. The swipe comes on through. A parting gift is in, and Stukov is down, and ReGen finally bust through and have some room to breathe. Meanwhile, Bud's trying to take out this mid fort. Moves over the wall. Uh-oh, Porky's on the chase, though. There's the Gust coming on out. Zergling pushing in the top lane. Still has the bomb available, uses the boost to get on out of there. Bud's doing some macro stuff. ReGen in the bottom lane. Gonna get a couple shots off here. Finally back to even on these structures, but look at the state of mid, look at the state of top. Abathur trying to use that mule to get these structures healed up. But that's going to take quite a while, and especially when there's two of them ailing. Uh-oh, Zergling goes down without the bomb going out. That's going to be trouble. Pulse bomb is going to land. As Marlowe hits that recall, Porky trying to chase down Zergling here. The pew 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 is not going to be enough as Porky lands that big leap. Lucio down as well, and now Pitkid in trouble. Going to be taken out here. Buds falls down. ReGen with the 4 kills. Uh-oh, and averted. Gotta be careful here. Cattle wants to... The instant mount from War Traveler is not going to be enough, but the rest of the chase kind of gave up. Extra movement speed from Cassia matches that of Diablo's. And now ReGen, still with 17 shots on their core. They're definitely not out of it yet. Apather now with a little bit of extra breathing room to try to heal up these two towers. ReGen coming on through with the camp steel, going to try to stack these and take control of this bottom lane once again. WildHeart up and available, going to use Diva and Falstad to split soak again. Relying on this 3-stack for the defense. 4 sappers clash in, the silence area is enough to stop the other 2, and we've got a triple altar phase. Falstad and Diva. Gonna work versus this Sonya. Can the rest of WildHeart stop this bottom channel? ReGen is now starting to really push through on these fights and find Unaverted, find Weary Day. You see now Tracer's moved up to try to even up this channel. Abathur actually getting the back cap there. Ball Lightning comes on out. This could be trouble. Cascon gets interrupted. Deckard Cain is down. Cattle trying to get away here. Porky being pushed out as well. Cattle going to take the hit from that bomb. Getting away with the Abathur hat. There's the Fend coming on through. Manages to reposition. Look at the ReGen coming on through. Going to be pushed back once again on the chase, and Diablo is down. That's going to be a soul reset. And now WildHeart, they want to get these caps. They want to take out mid. They want to take out top. Zergling is in the off lane. Look at the damage coming out onto Porky. Cassia burst. Lining up there. Just need a couple more hits. Weary Day is pushed back. Unaverted gets one more auto, and that's going to be it for that fort. Porky is so low on health. Doesn't want to move in. The channel is up. That's an extra 5 shots. Zergling thinking about this top fort. Abathur going to drop the mule. The rest of WildHeart pushing down the bottom lane here. Cattle going to be blinded out, pushed back, and that's... Oh my goodness, Diablo is down. Porky's moving on in, trying to turn this fight, but being pushed back. Leap is up, and they want buds. There's the sleep. It's not going to land. WildHeart manages to disengage here as the Abathur clone is on the chase. All the while, Zergling in the top lane is going to get this top fort. The mule is going to be destroyed. The sappers are going to be pushing onto the kill zone. WildHeart back up 5-1 on these structures. Could be going for a 6 cap. They're starting to stack the bottom lane. The mid should go down here. The damage from ReGen should be enough to avoid the 6 cap shots, but here comes 3 sappers. An extra 3 shots on the core means that 5 health remains here for ReGen. That's not boss. That's not boss end yet. But if just one of these sappers crosses the line, the boss becomes a win condition. ReGen finding themselves in an unfortunately familiar situation here. Arlo going to move on up and try to harass Zergling. There's the stun combo. Cattle getting a little bit low. Porky looking for a leap on the outside, looking to flank, coming on through. Is looking, wants it, finds the spear onto Zergling. Swipe comes on out. Buds is in the mix. Mech Bomb is out. Tracer is taken out on the back line on the recall. Porky is going down as well. Cascon catches 2 in the sleep here as Cattle trying to get away. The flip is good and Buds is down, but there goes Diablo. Cascon getting chased out. That is 4 kills for WildHeart. Abathur tries to get the channel, but is going to be interrupted, and that is going to be it for this game. Zergling with the channel, and WildHeart, unbelievable performance here on Towers of Doom, are going to go up 2-0 in this series. GG. Wow, wow, wow. We've heard tale of the Stukov main tank. I had not yet seen it in person. The healing from Lucio allowing Stukov to move on up there, get those big autos, use that reactive Ballistospores to ward back ReGen was really, really cool to see. The 1-1-3 split, stressing out the offlaner, really taking advantage of the one less body that Abathur unfortunately provides for ReGen. It was a good effort bringing it back in the mid game, but just so much to overcome. They worked really hard, ReGen did, but man, what an execution from WildHeart. Incredible stuff. Unaverted's Cassia, 72k hero damage. Very, very well done. Marlowe on the Tracer, getting ahead of Porky in the end there. 43k hero damage for ReGen. Take a quick look at the talents there. Gonna get set up for game number 3. Nobody thought this would happen. No one bet WildHeart to win. Sad. Alrighty. There it is. Game number 2 is in the books. WildHeart up with a 2-0 lead. Gonna try to close this thing out. ReGen gonna try to bring it on back. Don't forget, first time these two teams met, it went to 5. So don't go too far. We're gonna come back with game 3 soon. Sit tight. I'm here. My face is showing. This is excellent. Welcome to game number 3. We're getting set up here. More WildHeart versus ReGen. WildHeart up 2-0 right now. They're going to try to close this out on Dragonshire. If you're just joining us, run over the maps for you real quick. Garden of Terror, Sky Temple, Alterac Pass, and Braxis Holdout are banned away for this series. Tomb of the Spider Queen going over to WildHeart, and Towers of Doom in quite the comp. Going over to WildHeart as well. We're going to be going to Dragonshire, chosen by ReGen. Going to try to start their comeback on Dragonshire. Should be going here in just a moment. Lobby is up, waiting for the final readies. As a quick reminder, if you've not yet gone and supported these players, or you want to go and support them even more, ! Matcherino in the chat. You can see the current total. You can add to that total. If you've not yet added your free quarter, 25 cents, Storm S2, capital S in Storm, capital S, number 2. You just put in the code and it creates money, and you give money to these fantastic players. Goes into the prize pool for this Storm Division Season 2, so don't forget to go do that. Our draft is up and running. Game number 3 underway here. And WildHeart will have first pick, first ban. Dragonshire is a very rotation-heavy map. I don't expect Medivh to make it through. I expect it to be banned once again. However, globals are important. Mobility is important. So I still expect very high priority onto the stuff like Brightwing, like Lucio, who can move around and be in different places. I'm interested to see whether ReGen allows Buds to pick up that fall stat again. Buds plays an awful lot of fall stat, very, very effective in those off lanes. But to ban it out, they would have to leave Sonya up, which is risky business, as we see Uther once again banned away. WildHeart. See what they ban here. There's so much first pickable stuff, but you want to make sure that you don't leave a big loophole open in your draft by first picking the wrong thing. They're going to take Hogger off the board. Very strong on D-Shire. Able to take that back left camp so quickly is pretty important. Or the back bruiser camp, I should say. ReGen. Gonna ban away the Brightwing. That leaves Sonya up. That leaves Falstad up. Leaves Lucio up. But WildHeart only gets 1. So what's the priority going to be? ReGen's saying we'd rather not see that Brightwing. We're willing to give you Sonya. But will WildHeart take it? It's going to be Sylvanas. It's going to be none of them. It's going to say, you're going to give me too many options. I'm just going to choose none of them. So I get more later on. Push that Sonya right back across the table and say, do you want the Sonya? We'll see if it's going to be. See if ReGen furthers their gambit and delays the Sonya or takes the Sonya. They're going to go ahead and take it. Hosty going to lock in that Falstad, denying it from Buds there. I like that pickup. I like taking the Falstad instead of trying to save it for the third ban. So now WildHeart's on the button here. They've got, they've got the opportunity to snipe the Lucio. Got the opportunity to possibly just move right back into the comp that they had before. It's a little bit less effective on the rotation-heavy map, and we're going to see that as Weary Day grabs the Karazim. A little bit of a dive, prospect. And Pit Kid going to lock in the Johanna. He's grabbing it before the mid-ban. Karazim. ReGen looking at Sylvanas, Karazim, Johanna. Pretty effective push comp. Johanna able to move in and gather people under structures. Karazim, obviously a great dive healer. Sylvanas able to work under buildings. Zeratul going to be the ban here from ReGen. This is a pretty strong Zeratul map. The roam potential, the gank potential, especially onto something like a Falstad, is very, very effective. Because Zeratul can stick to Falstad after that barrel roll. Really, really tough to deal with. So ReGen taking that option off the board. WildHeart looking at Falstad Sonya. Got the Johanna. Gonna remove the Varian to allow Pit Kid to not get totally shredded at level 13. So now ReGen's on the button here. What are they gonna do about this dive potential from WildHeart? A lot of saves are off the board already. Uther, Brightwing, Medivh, all taken away. Have the Lucio possibility. It's going to be Stukov, though. Stukov, I would say, I mean, it's tough. They both are pretty good versus dive, but just in different ways. Cattle going to lock in the May. May very resilient on that front line. So what does the rest of this WildHeart draft look like? What do you put versus that Sonya? What do you do into this May? It's going to be Dahaka and Tychus coming on through for Zergling and for Buds. Tychus pretty strong when he gets to actually attack May. The blinds coming on out from that snowball are pretty annoying in my experience playing Tychus. But we'll have to see whether Buds finds those windows in which to get the auto attacks onto Cattle. What is Marlowe's pick going to be? Are we going back to the Tracer, or do we have something else in mind? It's going to be Orphea. Orphea, the Dancing Mage. Very strong poke, very good blow-up potential when Orphea is able to provide. Could see the Ice Wall into the Crushing Jaws. Could be the Blizzard. Could be the Leap on top. Stukov putting down the Silent Zone. It's a lot of Wombo potential. A lot of different tools that ReGen can use to knock down these lower health heroes that tend to scoot away. But if you time things just right, you can get that Karazim, you can get that Sylvanas trapped in your CC chain. WildHeart's pretty slippery, especially once you see the Cleansing Touch come on through at 16. I would expect that here from Weary Day. So this is it. Can ReGen bring it back? Or will WildHeart bring through the sweep? On the left in the blue, trying to close out this series, it's WildHeart. Unaverted on the Sylvanas. Pit Kid playing Johanna. Weary Day on the Karazim. Zergling playing Dahaka. And Buds is on the Tychus. On the right in the red, looking to fight for their lives, is ReGen. Porky is on the Sonya. Cattle playing May. Cascon on the Stukov. Hosty playing the Falstad. And Marlowe is on Orphea. New strat has been called. Sylv Monk on D-Shire. Unseen. Apparently Weary Day thought it up. Spear's gonna land. So we see Buds trying to move on up, put a little bit of damage out. Went for the dash on level 1. Gonna try to get the movement speed to deal with these advancing mages. Falstad and Orphea. So we now see the rotation coming on through. Hosty getting a good dismount there. Kid gathers up too. Marlowe could be in some trouble here as Bud scoots on forward. Is that going to be enough? Oh, the heal from the auto. Marlowe trying to get away. Unaverted needs one more auto, and that's it for Orphea. Cascon could be in a little trouble with Cattle. Uh-oh, may have misplaced the Blizzard just a little bit there as Hosty gets away in the bottom lane. First blood goes over to WildHeart. Unaverted manages to get on the correct side of the icing. As Cattle went in for the damage. Porky trying to deal with this double soak pressure from Dahaka, with the distance between top and mid being fairly short. And for there being, constant movement speed between those brushes for Dahaka. It's pretty doable here on Dragonshark. Not a lot of Dahaka you get to see these days in Heroes of the Storm. But this map specifically really plays in to Dahaka's trait. Uh-oh, Unstoppable has to be popped. Bud's trying to scoot on out of there. Oh, Cascon goes down to the minions. Unfortunate. Hosty was trying to clear him away. Unfortunate death there for ReGen, but they still have the pressure here in the bottom lane. Cattle doing some passive soaking versus this Karazim Sylvanas. And Stukov will make it back to the battlefield here. Weirday moving in, getting some damage, but it's going to be denied by that barrel roll armor. Or barrel roll shield, I should say. Cattle moves right up onto the point here versus Pitkid. We've got a full-on 4v4 as Cattle's going to reposition Buds. Look at the stun value. Tychus is down. Weirday trying to get Unaverted and Johanna on out of there. Uh-oh, look at the damage turnaround onto Cattle. Hosty can't move in. Too low health. Unaverted manages to get away here. Marlowe wants the blow up. And the Dread lands, and that's going to be it for Johanna. A lot of kills starting things off here. 2-2 in less than 3 minutes. Now in the top lane, Zerglin could be in some trouble here. The trade was in. Is the trait going to be enough? I think that essence is going to be enough for Zerglin to get out. It's close. Wiggling and wiggling. Gets away. So far, ReGen looking pretty strong here. Marlowe looking for a channel. Whoa, Bud's playing it a little bit close there. Didn't want to waste the overkill. Didn't want to waste the grenade. Gets the auto barely in time there. Porky gonna get cut off here by Pitkid. Johanna gonna feign that there's more coming. We'll force Sonya to back on up. Karazim actually soaking the bottom lane right now. Tychus coming on through. Zerglin could be in some trouble here. Pushed back and the stun is not gonna hit thanks to the burrow. Looking for a tongue drag, will not land onto Cattle. Now Sonya trying to wrestle back the top lane here for ReGen. Unaverted gets the haunting wave. He gets stunned out here by Mei. Oh, Unaverted manages to barely get out of here. Unstoppable is going to be barely enough. Weirday coming on through, getting some big punches. Man, WildHeart just doing a great job in leapfrogging who's in attack range of ReGen, as all of them keep getting out with like 20% health on several of these gank attempts. Cattle gonna take back the bottom lane here for ReGen. Unaverted, no way in for now. So we're gonna see WildHeart having to control the mid while Dahaka deals with the top lane. Silent Zone comes out onto Tychus. Great job by Cascon on the Stukov there. Weirday trying to get away here. Karazim, oh, gets hit with the edge of that waltz. Karazim is down. Could we see ReGen picking up their dragon here? Porky trying to push out the top lane, but still has to wrestle with Zergling over this point, and Dahaka is still very healthy. Marlowe going to work on that right side camp. I think ReGen realizes they're not going to be able to wrestle back this point just yet. Bud's working on the left side camp here for WildHeart. This Cattle once again takes back this point. Uh-oh, Unaverted uses the wave. Oh, takes it just at the last second there and manages to get away. Nice timing there by Unaverted. Oh, Falstad going down in the top lane. I'm missing some gank action. That's where Karazim really comes in handy in the healer position. No one aids in those ganks No one dives through and gets those punches quite like our boy Karazim. But ReGen has their 10s first. It is the Crushing Jaws along with that Ice Wall. We'll see what Sonya's going to be picking up here. Going to be stunned by Zergling. Porky working on that matchup there. Is it going to be the leap once again, or are we going to see Wrath? I've got to think it's got to be the leap versus the mind control. We'll see what it's going to be. Oh, Sonya goes down once again. Weirday pops the 7-sided. I miss it again. What a scrub I am. Pit Kid moving on forward is going to be denied there by Cascon. Look at the slow coming on out. Cattle trying to pin Pit Kid, but will not get the stun. Moving back in here is Weirday, throwing out those punches again. Ice Wall going to cut off the retreat. That's going to be Stukov going down. Great collapse there from Zergling to help out that rotation. Buds going to be interrupted there by Cattle. Bottom lane, unaverted in trouble here as Hosty comes on through, going to connect. Hosty needs a couple more autos, and that's going to be it. Great job by Hosty, realizing where that Haunting Wave was going to go. Crushing Jaws is going to be avoided as Zergling is kind of 1v2ing down here. In the mid, Cattle and Porky managed to get away there, but Zergling wrestles the point back. Bitkid has got the channel, and we're going to have ourselves our first dragon here at the 7-minute mark. Odin is going to be popped here by Buds. It was lead brought out by Sonya. Kind of figured that would be the case. Just layer on the extra CC. Try to take advantage of those Ice Wall engages. Cattle going to go ahead and Hearth back, but interrupted there. Possibly just baiting out an ability. Seemed like a weird place to Hearth. I feel like that was a message, not an actual attempt, but we'll see. Orpheus going to be booted away here. Dragon just throwing out those breaths. Got to be a little bit careful. Make sure to not get caught right on top of fort range. Rotation up to the top lane here. ReGen is going to be spotted by Zergling. There's the silence coming on out. Dragon Knight is going to get the kick. But there's the mind control, and Falstad is going to go down. Call an ambulance, but not for me. Porky all over the backline, though. Unaverted. Got to be careful. Going to be kicked into fort range, but not before Sylvanas goes down. Porky going to take 3 shots. Going to try to... Oh, no. Oh, no. Zergling trying to delay it as much as possible. Great kick. They trade out Sylvanas for it. Bottom lane pressure going to continue here. Uh-oh, Marlowe and Cascon coming on through. Buzz is in trouble. Marlowe hits the waltz. There's the chomp. Line is up and trying to move on through. Buzz avoids the stun. Is going to pop that trait and try to get away through the bottom lane. There's the 7-sided strike as Dahaka comes on down. That's Stukov down. That's Orphea down. Cattle trying to get away here. Hosty uses the barrel roll. No drag available. Cattle still mounted. Manages to get away from Zergling. The movement from these teams is just divine here. Pit Kid gonna deny the back once again. I wonder if Cattle really was trying to back before. Pit Kid. Oh, winds up the auto. Gets pinged for the trouble. Didn't want to use the ability. Dive onto the bottom fort here. Black Arrow is just going to secure this bottom fort. Cattle trying to get a little bit of damage onto this camp before it moves up, but there's the engage coming in from Pit Kid. Reday was there to help. Unaverted is trying to move right onto this wall. Odin going to be popped as well, so WildHeart committing with this camp. Ice Wall comes out, is going to catch one. Mind control onto Cattle though, manages to pop the trait, but the stun is up, and look at the 7-sided. Hosty on the backside. There's the chomp. Gonna miss. Unaverted manages to get away. What a silence from Zergling, and that's going to be Falstad going down. Marlowe in all sorts of trouble. Did not land the waltz, and Orphea falls. I don't know how WildHeart avoided that one. Really kind of split the uprights. Unaverted dives into the backline with that Black Arrow. And this could be Keep going down here. Black Arrows are still online. Keep is absolutely falling. WildHeart with a level 16 advantage here. Gonna go ahead and back out. But got 3 staggered kills and now moving back towards this bottom shrine. And the main win condition lane is opened up for WildHeart. One more fight goes their way and this thing could be over. Back camp going to be worked on here by ReGen. Bud's pressuring in the mid. Going to use that overkill in case he needs to get out of dodge here. ReGen picks up the bruiser. Dahaka gonna look to channel the top. ReGen got to catch up this bottom lane here as constant catapult pressure is going to be coming on through. Pit Kid finds the dragon. Weary Day did start this camp, so Unaverted going to work with this bruiser to pressure out the bottom lane while Dahaka deals with the top. Dahaka is able to burrow in with that global. Now level 17 to 15. WildHeart is threatening to end this game. They've got double camp. They've got the dragon. They're waiting for this to stack. They're not clearing this wave on purpose to try to let this bruiser camp catch up. Now the Dragonite pressure is in. Wow, the dragon baited right under there. Mind Control's actually going to land. That's Porky taking a ton of damage, uses the leap to get away, but the crushing jaws. Orphea's going absolutely ham. Sylvanas and Karazim are down. And all of a sudden, WildHeart is in shambles. Cattle catches Pit Kid here. Trying to turn things around, though. WildHeart finds the double stun. Marlowe, still pretty healthy. That's going to be Dahaka going down here. Porky chasing Pit Kid. Bud's trying to get away from Cattle here. That's Johanna going down. WildHeart almost turned that thing around. And now Hosty is in. Bud's almost certainly going down here. Uses that dash. Turning things around, trying to get the last hit onto Hosty, but that is Tychus going down. ReGen with the full ace on that core push. Gonna clear out this bottom lane here. Try to relieve some of that catapult pressure with periodic catapults of their own. Top lane bruiser camp gonna be cleared up by the fort there. And now all of a sudden, ReGen continuing their push. 5 players in this bottom lane working on this wall. Ice wall comes out, not gonna catch 2 members. Mind Control out onto the Orphea, but turning it around is ReGen. Karazim is blown up. What a re-engage from ReGen, and what a stagger. This could be keep now. Pit Kid is back. Unaverted is having to hearth for health. ReGen is locked in. Johanna has to pop the unstoppable. Avoids the slow from the dread. Unaverted is in. Keep is still a little bit healthy. Dahaka's in the top lane, and here comes Buds. No Weary Day means that no healing and no blow up. Oh, Pit Kid in all sorts of trouble here, trying to back away. Porky is in, the spear hits. Zergling in the back line, looking for a drag under, but all of a sudden is in all sorts of trouble. Pops the trait healing. Is it going to be enough? The drag is in. Cattle try to get the ice wall. May is going to fall down. Somehow Zergling stays alive here, and Buds pushing back the rest of ReGen and saving this keep. I don't know how Zergling lives there. Had to get the full Essence duration heal. Unbelievable stuff. Zergling, oh, barely doesn't find the Falstad back. Tychus controls the bottom lane. With May down, Porky could be in trouble. Mind Control comes out. There's the 7-sided, and that is it for Sonya. And that's all the gank you need. WildHeart finds their 20s. With May still down and Sonya falling there, that's another dragon going over to WildHeart. Without the camp pressure, they probably just push through mid here. Johanna's back, Sylvanas is catching up. 30 seconds without Sonya. Are they going to go through bottom lane? Dragon going to push mid here. Trying to get away from some of that damage. Black arrows are out. They don't want to take too much free damage on this dragon. Uh-oh, there's the Mind Control coming on out onto May. Silence as well, but not able to find the damage. There's the Blessed Shield coming on out, but Marlowe manages to get away here. All of a sudden, the Dragonite is in the mix. That's a lot of heroics down on the side of WildHeart here. Sonya is back in the mix. There's the Mind Control going to land onto Falstad. There's the drag. Hosty manages to get away. Nice. Great job by Cattle on that ice wall. Weary Day has to pop the ult to try to stay off the map and stay alive, and now on the chase here. Oh, looking for a possible gank. Unaverted. They're going to stay off of vision. They don't have their 20s. ReGen going to try to find some with this camp. Bottom siege is picked up. Oh, the Mind Control doesn't hit onto Cascon. Silence comes out. Turning around his pit kid. Odin comes out as well, using that big red button, lands onto 2. Zerglin trying to get away here is stunned, pops the essence. Gonna be stunned out, but Zerglin gonna heal back up. Tychus trying to take out this keep to take out a possible retreat situation. Cascon with those individual swipes. Keeping WildHeart back here. Cattle moves in and pushes Buds back. There's the ice wall, not going to land here. Mind control is out and unaverted in all sorts of trouble. Cattle finds that last hit. Sylvanas down, Dahaka down. And ReGen is on the chase here. Oh, what a 7-sided this. Karazim barely doesn't get Cattle. Tychus is down, the leap is through, and it's going to be another ace here for ReGen. Marlowe has to clean up the bottom lane, the core down to 75%. The rest of ReGen is pushing through this bottom lane. Falstad's flying up. They want to end this game right now, and they will. Bottom keep is down, and ReGen is back in this series. What a defense. So much back and forth there. But ReGen comes out on top. 13 seconds till anyone from WildHeart is up, and game number 3 is going over to ReGen. GG. Ooh, baby. ReGen turns it around, finds the kills. Every time they found a kill, they found 5, it felt like. Just really, really good stuff coming on out there. Fantastic job waiting for the right moments on that defense. May's zone control was divine on that keep. Really, really nice job by Cattle. Great stuff, and ReGen finds their way onto the board and get their first win of this series. Buds on the Tychus, leading the way on hero damage there for WildHeart, 66.5k. Marlowe on Orphea, top damage, 62k there for ReGen. Really, really, really good stuff. Great turnaround at the end there. Bring up the talent screen for those who are interested. And we're going to go ahead and set up for game number 4. Alrighty. Wow. Not over yet. It's 2-1. WildHeart still looking to end, but ReGen fighting back. We're going to go to a short break. When we come back, it's going to be game number 4. WildHeart versus ReGen. Sit tight. Ooh, welcome back. We're getting set up here for game number 4. WildHeart versus ReGen here in this playoff matchup. Man, it's been quite the series so far. Excited to see if ReGen can keep this momentum and bring it on through to a game number 5. Our lobby is up and running. For those who just joined us, those of you who are just joining us, go over the maps again. Garden of Terror, Sky Temple, Alterac Pass, and Braxis Holdout are out of the way here. Banned out. Tomb of the Spider Queen and Towers of Doom. Our first 2 maps went over to WildHeart. And swinging back, it was ReGen with a victory there on Dragonshire. And now ReGen is going to choose to bring us to Battlefield of Eternity for our game number 4. And if we thought the other games were a bit of a slugfest, Battlefield of Eternity is the slugfest map. Most team fights available, least macro to do. These teams are going to be clashing a lot here, so look for those team fights that have been so good in this series so far. Man. Just a reminder of the implications of this matchup. Neither team is out of the playoffs if they lose this match. The winner goes on to the winner's semifinals to face Heavy Impact. The loser goes to the loser bracket and will start off versus Anti-Clown Association. Let them know that I'm ready to go. So these teams can start their lobby whenever they choose. Alright, ours are out. Oh, alright. Starting it up. I'm ready to go. I've got just enough water left to get through this game. After this, I'm going to have to refill it. Let's bring it on in. Ah, perfect. Just in time to start Battlefield of Eternity here. WildHeart will once again have the first pick opportunity. I can't imagine the bans will be very different than what we've seen through this series. Pick priority may be different, because you gotta have a little bit of race. You gotta have some race. You gotta have your Li Mings, you gotta have your Rainers, you gotta have something that puts some damage on those Immortals. But, you know, it's a balance. How much do you want to invest into that? How much do you want to invest into CC? How much do you want to invest into PvE? How much do you want to invest into mobility? Like, there's so many factors in the ways that you can build these comps on Battlefield of Eternity. And the draft is always interesting. Always, always interesting. Once again, we see Medivh and Uther, top of the ban list. That's probably not going to change throughout the rest of the playoffs, if I'm being honest. So when you're going to be banned out here by WildHeart, not going to let that through this time. And Hogger will be removed by ReGen. This ban phase brought to you by every single ban phase that we see in Heroes of the Storm today. First pick here for WildHeart. See what the priority is going to be. It's going to be D.Va. Locking it in early here is Zergling. D.Va, really good point control, able to push people off of the Immortal, able to stay alive in those, you know, treacherous areas in the middle of the map. A Malfurion Li Ming, our first Malfurion of the series, locked in here by Cascon and Hosty. Malfurion, kind of a classic counter to D.Va. You put the roots down. If it locks in the mech, and then you kill the mech, the pilot comes out, gets rooted again. It's kind of mean. It's kind of gross. Hanzo and Brightwing going to be the choices. So Brightwing actually making it through here for WildHeart, and Hanzo going to be locked in by Unaverted. There we go. So the return of Brightwing is here. Li Ming. Hosty put up a really good Li Ming performance earlier this series. So excited to see that come through again. ReGen going to take away the Diablo. I personally don't really like playing Diablo into Malfurion. The roots are kind of annoying. But Malfurion and Li Ming, if they do get pinned by that Shadow Charge, are pretty ripe to die. And also, Diablo does pair up really well with Hanzo. You know, putting people into a wall where Hanzo can hit a great scatter arrow. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Garrosh going to be the ban here from WildHeart. Don't want anyone misplaced, thrown into the roots, blown up by Li Ming. Understandable. Understandable. So what's it going to be then? ReGen thinking about their next two. Got the very long-range Hanzo. They got the very safe Brightwing. D.Va's pretty resilient. How do you lock in the rest of this draft? Going to be the variant here for Cattle, and Thrall picked up by Porky. Starting to see Thrall kind of creep his way back into these high-level games. The extra root, the extra, like, the big impact teamfight heroics, and the surprising survivability of a Thrall who understands how that Frostwolf resilience ebb and flow works is kind of starting to find their way into more games. Excited to see it. I like my Thrall. Buds bringing in the Genji, and Pit Kid wants that Arthas to try to slow down the auto attacks of the Varian and the Thrall here. So Genji figuring he can just fly on past this Varian Thrall and go harass Li Ming and Malfurion in the back. Seems like a pretty good bet. What can Marlowe do about it? Marlowe's going to Tracer about it. Tracer going to be able to stick to Genji as long as he turns off that auto attack when the Protect is up, which I fully expect Marlowe's capable of doing. That's a good matchup. That's a pretty good matchup, and also able to dive on back, harass the Hanzo a little bit. Could be good. Alrighty. Or he just wants dings. Thrall is the king of quests, that's for sure. That's for sure. Cool matchup here. Very cool matchup. We've got the Genji on one side, the Tracer on the other. See, I'm excited to see Cattle, what he can do with this variant. There's some pretty good targets, but he's got to get past Pit Kid on Arthas first. That's going to be a tall order. Let's see how it goes. We're loading on in here to our game number 4, Battlefield of Eternity. Alrighty. On the left in the blue, once again trying to close things out, is WildHeart. Unaverted going to be playing the Hanzo, Buds on the Genji, Pit Kid playing Arthas, Weary Day on the Brightwing, and it is Zergling on that Diva. On the right in the red, it is ReGen with Cascon on the Malfurion, Hosty playing Li Ming, Cattle's on the Varian, Porky playing Thrall, and Marlowe is on the Tracer. I'm going to bring the camera down to bottom lane, but I'm not sure where ReGen's going. They're doing a little bit of a split. They're doing a little bit of a hang. So we'll see what they can do here. Looks like a little bit of a rotation onto the top lane is where there could be some early action. As Zergling going to have to watch out as we got full 4 players. And with Malfurion, that could definitely be a kill onto Diva. Thrall, pretty good as well in this matchup. You putting out that Feral Wolf onto the pilot as she comes out is a pretty reliable route as well. Zergling just going to hang out. Say, I know you're there. Pit Kid going to get found by Marlowe on the rotation there. Going to get a little bit harassed. But the big push in the bottom lane, already dealing some damage to the towers here. Nice protect coming on out from Buds. Good split from Unaverted there. Checking on our quests, Hanzo will be stacking up those Ws. Arthas also stacking up some Ws. There's an extra route coming on through for old Arthas. And Thrall stacking up the Echo of the Elements up there. Keladorn with the raiding party of 9. Hope you had a good stream. We're setting up here in game number 4 in this Storm Division matchup. Yeah, the Zergling's just going to be playing this ultra safe. This Diva is very much threatened here. Right now we see WildHeart just backing off. So Varian not a full tank just yet, but they don't like their chances versus this Li Ming on the point. Hanzo and Genji, obviously not the beefiest boys when it comes to standing on points. Unaverted is going to take a shot there from Hosty. Already 7 stacks on that quest for Arthas. Very good start there for Pit Kid. Pit Kid going to move on up with the Tempest, try to slow down the Varian, who's not yet into that taunt level. Another route comes on out, that's 9 stacks, 10 stacks there for Hanzo on that level 1 quest. And level 4 is in, looking for a taunt, but the polymorph is good. Cattle finds the taunt onto Arthas, and that is going to be it. Li Ming, magic missiles are in. That's it for Pit Kid. Coming up on 2:30, no one started their shamans yet. See who splits off to get those going. Looks like they're starting to move over there now. There they go. There they go. Thrall thinking about the top lane. Thrall not exactly the fastest camper in the world, so not going to be able to go ahead and rip that. Just going to go ahead and clear this up. Pit Kid can clear out the bottom lane here. Li Ming so far going with a very normal build. No magic missile business just yet. There's the combo coming out onto Arthas. Root combo, sleep comes up as well. Pit Kid, all sorts of trouble. And that's kind of where Arthas is a little bit behind in terms of tanks. So Weary Day gets hit by that orb, going down as well. Arthas needs that later level talent survivability. It's just no movement at all. No movement at all available for the Lich King. Working on a little bit of race, but ReGen well ahead on this first Immortal of the game. Arthas making their way back to the battlefield. Brightwing a little bit behind here. There's the taunt coming out onto Buds. Nice intercept. Cattle trying to get away here. Pit Kid can't quite find the route. Unaverted going to take a hit from Hosty on the edge. The Cattle has to back off here. Zergling going to remain in pilot form. That's some very high damage output this early in the game. Good effort there by Zergling to do that. Hosty trying to poke in on the edges, but Buds is really working on interrupting those shots. Now WildHeart has to back off here. Gonna get as much damage in as they can, but ultimately this is gonna be ReGen picking up our first, or 18? Oh gosh. They peeled away one auto attack too soon, but Gascon's saving him with the Moonfire. I wonder how much shielding they lost moving away too quick. Kid trying to get away here. Finds the route onto the Tracer. Oh no, Brightwing caught out of position. I mean, I say out of position. He's like basically pasted to their own wall, but out of position enough, as ReGen has been rotating very aggressively with this variant. Very aggressively. Objective down to about half health here as Weary Day coming on in for the support. Fort should be okay, as WildHeart looks to clear this out.
The demon has fallen, but he will rise again in time.
Malfurion did pick up that Nature's Cure. That's going to help remove the stuns and roots. Taunt comes out onto Arthas once again. There's the sleep, there's the pulse bomb, and there's the kill. Arthas goes down here. Cattle trying to catch up, looking for Weary Day. Brightwing with that back up. Oh, Li Ming actually gets taken out there by the wave collapse. Taunt comes out onto Genji. Root hits as well. Genji in a little bit of trouble. Gonna take a quick nap, but then get back into it. Arthas now 17 out of 20 on that level 1. Hanzo done with the scatter quest. Checking on our top lane. Zergling feeling a little more comfy than they did at the onset of this game. Moving out into lane a little bit more. But overall, very even on the experience. Ahead in minions is WildHeart. Ahead in hero kills is ReGen. This Cattle is going to be spotted by the Sonic Arrow. Uh-oh, polymorph onto Marlowe. Weary Day manages to get away there. Cattle was trying to do a cheeky charge onto a minion and the taunt. Not quite there. But Buds and Pitkid are looking for a flank. Bottom fort is going to go down to Marlowe. Root won't land from Pitkid, but trying to catch up with that slow. Now Brightwing trying to catch up. Polymorph is good. Taunt comes out onto Buds. Can Cattle actually get away here? Unaverted wants a scatter. Won't get it. Nice hide there from Cattle. Making sure to not retreat north where that scatter could have hit. Objectives are up. Both teams really want their level 10s before the next engage. Looks like WildHeart is slightly ahead on the race here as they move into halftime and get their 10s. It is going to be Sundering for Thrall. There's the Twilight Dream. We've got the Pulse rounds for Tracer here. No shield wall for Varian, instead going for the cooldown reduction on the E. Wants to really move in whenever they want to. Genji going with the Dragon Blade. So no X-Strike. All damage. No save. Buds is it. Taunt on the outside onto Genji. Buds manages to get away from the lion's share of that combo. Dragon Arrow comes out, is going to be split though. Pitkid manages to get away. The Sundering comes on out. The Army of the Dead is keeping Arthas alive. Buds has to move on out of there. The Dragon Blade only getting a swipe or two. Taunt comes out onto Genji. Manages to hit the Protect. Buds is going to be shielded out as Zergling going to get back into that mech to try to push back the members of ReGen. Pitkid very, very low here. Damage reduction from Zergling. Is that going to be enough to secure the retreat? D.Va is going to be popped out and rooted, and that is exactly what Malfurion needs to be doing. Taunt comes out onto Buds. Protect is in. The jump over the wall is not enough. Marlowe finds the kill onto Genji. ReGen gets the double. Gets the triple, I should say. Arthas made it back to the battlefield already. ReGen looking pretty hot here. Pitkid going to be taunted and slept once again, but Arthas is advancing. Wants to move in there. Doesn't have ult available, and that's Arthas just going down. Weary Day in trouble as well. The resets from Hosty are starting to hit. Another 2 kills for ReGen. WildHeart just keeps on going in. Hanzo in some trouble. Unaverted is low. Manages to leap over the wall. Li Ming is down as Buds came on back. Dragon Arrow is going to land onto Cattle. Marlowe in trouble. Chased out. Tracer goes down, but the Pack Maw takes out Unaverted. Sundering from Porky is in and trying to get the last hits onto Buds. But here comes Brightwing. Cattle in all sorts of trouble. Moves on back in. Is going to get polymorphed. Zergling wants to find some autos as Porky trying to chase down Weary Day. And WildHeart picks up the objective. That's exactly how you expect that to go. Buds, a little bit of metagaming there. Knowing that the backs were coming on through interrupts one. I have no idea who came out ahead in that fight. I mean, ReGen got a lot of kills. They got, the bottom fort was kind of down earlier. I'd have no idea who's ahead there. Way ahead on hero experience, but way down on minion experience. Zergling gets popped out of the mech there. Didn't manage to get the bomb off. So Zergling gonna have to get a lot of autos. Uh-oh, Rooted comes on out. Zergling is gonna get slowed by Varian, and that's gonna be it for Zergling. Weary Day and Bud's gonna have to move back here. Bottom lane fort is down. Pit Kid and Unaverted pushing that in. Trying to watch for the flank to come on through. Uh-oh, Pit Kid could be in some trouble here. Hosty's on the chase. Taunt comes out onto Genji. There's the... Oh my god, how did Weary Day do that? They're gonna go down for the trouble. There's Hanzo and Brightwing going down, but that was like a perfect Brightwing cleanse.
Thus ends my assault on hell.
Bud's continuing to push in the top. Uh-oh, this could be trouble for Genji. Uses the E right away. But Hosty, oh, gets the pushback. He has to use the trait. And Genji is out of there. I guess WildHeart's ahead? Like, it's really hard to tell right now. Both teams are just brawling like crazy back and forth. Zergling back on the battlefield, has the bomb available if they want to fight over this camp. Pit Kid gets the root onto the back line, but ReGen going to pick up the camp here. And now the teams are starting to congregate. Buds sees Marlow on the outside. Pit Kid wants to find a root. Gets it onto Cattle, going to be quickly cleansed off. Bud's working on the edge versus Marlow. There's the taunt. Uh-oh, Genji in all sorts of trouble. Gets the protect. Look at the save from Weary Day. Dragon Arrow onto 2, onto 3. There's the mech coming on in. Can Marlow get out? No. Tracer is down. Pit Kid is slowing Cattle's escape. And there's the sundering from Porky, though. They want Buds. They won't get him. Cattle turns it around, and that's going to be Varian going down. Pit Kid is just advancing. There's Porky staying alive for now as Cascon hitting huge moonfires. 2 kills coming on out. Uh-oh. I see you, Hosty. Almost hitting the combo there as Zergling trying to catch up the bottom lane. Mortals are spawning in a few seconds here. You see ReGen working on this back camp. And now the Immortal phase is up and running, getting some quick race in. Is WildHeart. ReGen gonna grab their Shaman camp to try to get some counter pressure. But they're coming on in for the flank. Cattle's advancing forward. They wants Buds. Finds the taunt onto D.Va though. Zergling manages to boost on out of there before the root can land. Porky wants the Feral Spirit. Won't find it onto Unaverted. But the halftime show is here. Cattle working on the edge. Living on the edge. Now we're demonetized. Cattle looking for Pit Kid, thinking about a taunt. There it is onto Arthas. Brightwing coming on through for the heal. And all of a sudden, it's looking like ReGen's on the... Oh, look at the Dragon Arrow onto 3. Pit Kid wants to catch them on the retreat here. WildHeart pushes him out, and that's going to allow Buds on Genji to move onto the objective. Hosty working the edge. Combo's going to land onto Zergling. Pit Kid trying to get away here is going to be taunted. There's the Pulse Bomb coming on out. Arthas will fall. Zergling going to be demech'd. Weary Day trying to get away here. Pilot D.Va is down. Buds is just still working on this objective, but Genji is going to get away. ReGen wants to find Unaverted and Weary Day here. Marlow, one more boost to catch up. Hosty wants the combo. Almost pushed Unaverted into it. The defense is still here. Cattle working on this top side. There's a lot of health to chunk through. Unaverted finds a scatter. Good polymorph to get Hanzo on out of there. Now Buds is on the objective. Finds the leap away. Uh-oh. Has to use the Dragon Blade for mobility. Unaverted has the trait to get away here. So close on this race. Genji E's in again. Has to pop the protected. Oh, Buds is in trouble. Buds is out of options. trying to get away on the backside here, waiting for that cooldown, leaps over the wall, but that's going to give enough time for ReGen to come on through and grab this Immortal. Now Cattle could be in a tough spot. Pit Kid pops the Army of the Dead. Dragon Blade is denied as Genji goes down, but Varian down as well. Big stun onto the backline. Tracer's going to fall here. Pit Kid continuing to advance, looking for a root. Going to be rooted first. And, oh, look at the save here. Great cleanse from Cascon. That Nature's Cure doing so much work for Cascon. WildHeart, through all of this, gets an Immortal. It's going to be pushing down the top lane. Siege is in. Genji's still down for 8 seconds. Tracer and Varian coming back up in a moment. Continuing the pressure here is WildHeart. Objective has lost its shield. Is going to be walking into keep range. A little bit of a 5v4 here for ReGen. Good defense matrix by Zergling. Going to allow this objective to do a little more. Bomb going a bit far here. Objective needs one more spin. Won't get the keep. WildHeart would love to get this up. Big taunt comes out. Protect coming on through before the Sundering can land, and Buds is going to be out. 4 people hit by the Dragon Arrow. But it's a defensive one. It's a disengage. WildHeart gets on out. There's just a sliver of health on this keep. Oh, what a verdict can be in trouble. Finds the dismount on it too. Avoids the slow from the Lion's Maw. Taunt comes out onto Hanzo. Weary Day there. This could be a full-on re-engage. Dragon Blade onto the backline. Buds turns it onto Cattle. Can Varian get out of here? Caught in this corner, circling on their treat. What a root coming on out from Porky. Feral Spirit roots everyone. That's going to allow top camp to be picked up by WildHeart. ReGen needs to even out these lanes. Unaverted going to go back and get a little bit of mana there. Buds doing Genji things in the top lane. Rest of ReGen considering their next moves. They're even on experience. Lanes are starting to push a little bit. Objective is coming up. Buds just keeping an eye, keeping a scout out. Looks like both teams are going to go ahead and work on their shaman camps. Set up for the next objective. Zergling waiting to cap this bottom lane. Pit Kid trying to freeze. Let these camps join up. And now the Immortals are spawning. Cattle, still not dismounted. Looking for Unaverted. What? Oh my goodness, Cattle set way into the back line. Is going to be polymorphed. Dragon Arrow comes out, is going to land on a Cascon in the back, but expertly dodged by Marlowe. There's the route onto Cattle. The double camp on the bottom lane is providing a ton of pressure here for WildHeart. As Genji looking for a flank there. Buds is still thinking about it, still thinking about going in, finds the E in. Sundering comes out, silence onto, oh goodness, 2 down there. ReGen turning it around. Zergling trying to get everyone pushed away. But 2 kills for ReGen. They're going to continue the chase. Big root onto 2. Looks like the rest of WildHeart is going to get away here. But Cattle's got to worry about the race on the top side. Hanzo can really shred through this thing with just a couple of W's. Cattle taking huge damage there in the front. It is going to be healed up by Cascon. Still 25 seconds on Genji and Brightwing. Got time to get ready for the halftime show. We're going to allow Hanzo to get a little bit of race here. Not a ton. About an 8,000 damage difference right now. 10 seconds on the 2 members of WildHeart. No camps pushing. Defensive positions are here. This is a big deal for WildHeart. They're going to try to put up the defense. Unaverted going to take a quick combo there. Brightwing is back. Genji's on the way. We're going to be setting up for our next fight here. Cattle noticed. WildHeart going to be working the edges here. Diva, excuse me. Diva pushing in the bottom lane. moving right onto this Immortal is WildHeart, instantly evening up the race. Pitkid got to be careful here. Zergling has come to join. Level 20s are here for both squads. Stunned into the backline, taunted as well. Pitkid avoids the combo from Li Ming. That's a pretty big deal. Pitkid doesn't want to get stunned by the Immortal. Look at Zergling in the backline. Dragon Arrow going to land onto 2. Follow-up stun is good. Polymorph is in, and that's Thrall down. Buds gets the kill. Arthas falling as well, though. Taunt comes out onto the Genji, and Genji gets blown up by the wave of force. Unaverted has to use the cyber agility to get over the wall. The natural agility, I should say. Weary Day has the blink to get on out of there. Zergling is going to get popped out and go the other way. Avoids the root. Can Zergling actually escape? Brightwing gets chased down by Hosty and Marlowe. Zergling trying to get away here, but there's the... Oh my goodness, the pushback is in, but D.Va is down. ReGen picking up 4 kills for 1. Are going to go ahead and pick up this Immortal. But it's going to be pushing a very fortified top lane with no wave support. Members have to back to clear out this top lane. 2 catapults stacked. WildHeart going to be back to full strength in about 40 seconds. Despite the victory, just not a lot ReGen can do here, but try to take back the map. Immortal will almost certainly be taking this fort. Genji back up. 12 seconds on Brightwing, 20 seconds on D.Va. Fort going to be going down here. Looking for a flank. Hosty and Porky. Brightwing back on the battlefield, 5 seconds on D.Va. Hosty on the edge. Buds is scouting it out. Can WildHeart turn this? If they find enough kills, they can take it across the map. If ReGen finds enough kills, they can move in for the core. Immortal is already taken down here. Good teleport out by Hosty. And we're now in the danger zone. We're now in the tense zone. Cattle is going to be looking. Pitkid taunted out. Is going to be pushed away though. Sundering comes on out. Now Buds is in the backline with the Dragon Blade. They move on to Cattle. They want to get as much damage as possible, and Varian is down. Buds is getting the resets. Can Hosty get away from this? That's Li Ming down. The resets on the E's are coming on through. Look at the Dragon Blade. Malfurion is down. The counter kill is good onto Genji. Recall comes out. Marlowe going to be saved, but that's 3 for 1. And WildHeart wants to end. WildHeart wants to end this game. They're not going to have minion support. They've got 4 members. Sundering comes out. Porky just trying their best to delay. It's not the greatest siege here, but it's a 4v2. Marlowe moves on back. Root comes out onto Porky. They want to find the kill onto this Thrall. The core shielding is now down. 84%, 15 seconds on Varian. 70% on the core. Porky is trying to push back on Averted. Polymorph is out and Thrall is going to go down here. The wave is starting to catch up. 2 catapults being escorted to the core. 3 seconds on Varian. Core down to 35%. Zergling pushes out Marlowe, and this is going to be it. WildHeart finishes the series with the 3-1. GG. Oh, man. I need to go over some of these WildHeart Battlefield games because it seems like it's like this every time. Huge kill differential in favor of their opponents. But it seems like every time they die, it's at a time that the enemies cannot capitalize. And every time they find a shred of a kill, they get so much value. It's worth study. It's really, really worth study there. A fantastic effort by ReGen, almost turning it around. They nearly find the kill onto the Arthas, gets blown away from the combo, and WildHeart move in, pick up the kills, and pick up the win. Fantastic stuff. Unaverted on the Hanzo, cracking 100k damage there, nearly 106 hero damage there by Unaverted. Hosty on the Li Ming, 83,500 hero damage. Incredibly well played. Incredibly well played. That is your talent screen. Oh my. I've got this much water left. And that should help me through my outro. Oh, really good series. Really, really good. But unfortunately, viewers, that is going to be it for this series. Congratulations to WildHeart on the 3-1 victory. They are going to move forward to face Heavy Impact in the winner's semifinal. As for ReGen, don't forget they are not out yet. They move into the losers bracket. They are going to be up against Anti-Clown Association in their next matchup. So make sure you come on out and watch that one. Man, what a show. What an incredible series. It's been a pleasure casting for you today. If you like my stuff, if you like what I'm doing, you can check me out on my personal channel, twitch.tv/thecrushinator. You can catch me casting heroes. I play sometimes. A lot of casting, though. A lot of casting. So make sure you come on out there. And remember, any subs or bits donated during a Storm Division cast go to the casters. So today it was me. So thank you very much for the support today. When it's not me, when it's Jinxie, when it's Tetcher, when it's Arrow, when it's Taco, when it's anyone covering the Storm Division, all of your bits and subs here on the Nexus Gaming Series channel go to support those casters. So we all thank you very, very much. And yeah, fantastic stuff. That's going to be it for today's series. Thank you all very much for coming out. NGS is going to be bringing more action next week, so stay tuned. Keep an eye on that calendar as the playoffs roll on here. We're going to see if we can find some more action to flip you on over to. But until next time, thank you so much for hanging out, and I'll see you soon. Bye.